Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the UES Defender and watched the most important moment in human history unfold before his eyes. The alien ship hung in space like a giant crystal flower, its surface glowing with soft blue and green lights that pulsed in gentle waves. He had seen many things in his 20 years of military service, but nothing had prepared him for this day. 3 weeks ago, Earth's deep space monitors had detected the strange vessel approaching from the outer edges of the solar system. It moved slowly, deliberately, sending out radio signals on frequencies that human scientists had theorized might be used for interstellar communication. The signals contained mathematical sequences, musical patterns, and what appeared to be peaceful greetings in a dozen different human languages. Dr. Lisa Carter moved to stand beside the captain, her tablet showing streams of data from the alien ship. She was Earth's leading expert on xenobiology, though until today her work had been purely theoretical. Her hands shook slightly as she read the latest translations from the alien messages. "Captain, they're still broadcasting the same peaceful intentions," she said, her voice filled with wonder. "The linguistic team has confirmed they've somehow learned our major languages and are using them correctly. They keep repeating phrases about friendship, knowledge sharing, and what appears to be joy at meeting us." Jake nodded slowly. The past 3 weeks had been a whirlwind of preparation. Every government on Earth had put aside their differences to coordinate humanity's response to first contact. Military fleets had been positioned throughout the solar system, not as a threat but as a precaution. Scientists from every nation had gathered at Luna Station to analyze every piece of data from the alien vessel. Admiral Kevin Wright's voice crackled through the communication system from Luna Station. "Defender, this is command. The alien vessel has just transmitted a new message. They're requesting permission to approach Earth orbit for what they call a meeting of minds." Commander Amy Rodriguez looked up from her tactical station. She was responsible for the Defender's weapons and defense systems, though every protocol demanded that no aggressive action be taken unless Earth itself was directly threatened. "Sir, the alien ship shows no weapon signatures. Our scans indicate their technology is definitely more advanced than ours, but everything appears to be designed for peaceful purposes." The alien ship was unlike anything humans had imagined. Instead of the sleek metal surfaces of human spacecraft, this vessel appeared to be grown rather than built. Its crystal-like hull sparkled with internal lights, and strange organic curves suggested it might actually be partially alive. Scientists had been debating for days whether they were looking at a machine, a living creature, or something that combined both. Jake activated the ship-wide communication system. "All hands, this is the captain. In approximately 1 hour, we will make formal contact with representatives of an alien species. This moment will be remembered for as long as humanity exists. I expect everyone to conduct themselves with the professionalism and dignity that represents the best of our species." Dr. Lisa Carter checked her equipment one final time. She would be leading the scientific team, responsible for establishing communication protocols and learning everything possible about these visitors. Her heart raced with excitement and terror in equal measure. Everything humanity thought they knew about life in the universe was about to change. The alien ship had identified itself through a series of musical tones that the translation computers had rendered as Harmony's voice. The beings aboard called themselves the Serenity, and their messages suggested they were peaceful explorers who had traveled vast distances specifically to meet humanity. Commander Rodriguez reported from her station. "Captain, the alien vessel is transmitting detailed technical specifications for a safe docking procedure. They want to send a small shuttle to meet with our diplomatic team." Jake looked around the bridge at his crew. These men and women had trained for years for deep space missions, but none of them had ever imagined they would be the ones to greet humanity's first alien visitors. The weight of responsibility felt enormous. Dr. Carter received an alert on her tablet. "Captain, they're sending us images, visual representations of their homeworld and their species." The main screen flickered to life, showing landscapes of impossible beauty, purple seas under twin suns, cities that seemed to grow from living trees, and creatures that moved with graceful, fluid motions. The beings in the images had multiple arms, skin that glowed with soft bioluminescence, and faces that seemed to express kindness and curiosity. Admiral Wright's voice came through the speakers again. "Defender, You are authorized to proceed with formal first contact protocols. The entire world is watching, Captain. Make us proud. Jake took a deep breath. The next few hours would determine the future relationship between humanity and whatever galactic community might exist beyond Earth. He thought about his daughter back on Earth, who would grow up in a universe where humans were no longer alone. Dr. Carter, prepare the diplomatic suite for our guests. Commander Rodriguez, maintain yellow alert status but keep all weapons powered down. I want nothing that could be interpreted as threatening. The alien shuttle separated from the main ship like a seed pod falling from a flower. It was small, elegant, and moved with the same organic grace as its parent vessel. As it approached the Defender, its surface began to change color, shifting through patterns that almost seemed like attempts at communication through light. Dr. Carter checked her translation equipment one final time. The team had prepared for this moment as best they could, but they were about to attempt communication with minds that had evolved on a different world under different conditions. Every assumption about language, culture, and thought itself might prove wrong. Captain, Commander Rodriguez called out, the shuttle is requesting permission to dock. They're following our standard docking procedures perfectly. Jake felt a moment of surreal amazement. Somewhere in the vast darkness of space, alien minds had studied human technology and learned to interface with it. The implications were staggering. Permission granted. All hands prepare for first contact. The docking tube extended and sealed with the alien shuttle. Instruments showed a breathable atmosphere, though the alien visitors would wear their own environmental suits as a precaution. After centuries of wondering whether humanity was alone in the universe, they were about to have their answer. Dr. Carter stood beside the airlock, her recording equipment ready to capture every moment. Behind her, a carefully selected team of linguists, scientists, and diplomats waited to greet whatever emerged from that door. The indicator light turned green. The airlock cycled. Jake Morrison, captain of the UES Defender, watched as the door opened to reveal humanity's future among the stars. The being that stepped through the airlock was unlike anything humanity had ever imagined. Keth 9 moved with flowing grace, its forearms swaying gently as bioluminescent patterns rippled across its translucent skin. The alien wore no environmental suit, breathing the same air as the humans, and its large eyes seemed to sparkle with genuine curiosity and warmth. Dr. Lisa Carter stepped forward, her heart pounding with excitement and nervousness. She had rehearsed this moment hundreds of times, but facing an actual alien being left her momentarily speechless. Keith 9 made a series of musical sounds, then switched to carefully pronounced English. Greetings, children of Earth. I am honored to meet you in the name of peace and friendship. Captain Jake Morrison felt a wave of relief wash over him. The alien's voice was melodic, almost like singing, but the English words were clear and understandable. Behind Keth 9, two other Serenity beings emerged from the shuttle, their skin patterns shifting in what appeared to be excitement or happiness. Dr. Carter found her voice. Welcome aboard the UES Defender. I am Dr. Lisa Carter, and this is Captain Jake Morrison. We represent Earth and all humanity in greeting you. Keth 9's skin brightened, patterns of gold and blue swirling across its surface. Your species shows such wonderful diversity. We have observed your broadcasts and are amazed by your creativity and passion for life. Over the next 3 days, the Defender became a center of unprecedented scientific and cultural exchange. The Serenity proved to be gentle, curious beings who had traveled across the galaxy specifically to meet humanity. They shared holographic displays of their homeworld, showing vast gardens where their cities grew from living trees and crystalline structures that sang in harmony with the wind. Dr. Ben Clark, the chief linguist who had been brought aboard for the mission, worked tirelessly with Keth 9 to decode the Serenity language. The alien communication system combined musical tones, bioluminescent patterns, and telepathic impressions that created meaning in ways human minds could barely comprehend. Captain, Dr. Clark reported on the second day, their language is incredibly complex but also beautiful. They don't just speak words, they paint emotions and share actual memories. Keth 9 has been teaching me their basic greeting songs. Captain Helen Davis arrived aboard the science vessel UES Discovery, bringing with her a team of specialists to document every aspect of the encounter. She worked closely with the Serenity to record their cultural practices, their scientific knowledge, and their stories of other worlds they had visited. The aliens revealed that they were part of a larger confederation of peaceful species spread across multiple star systems. For over 1,000 years, they had been exploring the galaxy, seeking out new civilizations to befriend and learn from. They spoke of worlds where beings made of living light created art from pure energy, and ocean planets where intelligent creatures built cities in the deepest trenches. "Your species interests us greatly," Keth-9 explained to Dr. Carter during one of their daily meetings. "Most civilizations we encounter are either purely peaceful like ourselves, or completely devoted to war and conquest. Humans appear to be both protective and nurturing, which is very rare." The Serenity shared advanced medical knowledge that could eliminate several human diseases. They showed Earth's doctors how to use bioharmonic frequencies to encourage natural healing. Techniques that seemed like magic but were based on scientific principles humans were only beginning to understand. In return, humans shared their art, music, and literature. The Serenity were fascinated by human creativity, especially by music and stories that expressed conflict, struggle, and triumph. They had never encountered a species that created beauty from hardship the way humans did. Tony Martinez, a young communications officer aboard the Defender, became friends with one of the other Serenity visitors. Through careful translation, he learned that the aliens had been wandering space for generations, always searching for new friends and knowledge. They had no permanent homes, preferring to live aboard their bioships and explore the endless wonders of the universe. Dr. Nicole Thompson, a cultural anthropologist, recorded every detail of Serenity Society. She learned that they had no concept of individual ownership, sharing everything as a community. They made decisions through group harmony sessions where they literally shared emotions and thoughts until consensus emerged. "Captain," Dr. Thompson reported, "their society is built entirely around cooperation and mutual support. They've never experienced war, poverty, or conflict the way humans have. It's remarkable." The Serenity brought gifts that demonstrated their advanced technology and peaceful intentions. Seeds from their homeworld that could grow in Earth's soil and produce food with incredible nutritional value. Artistic crystals that responded to human emotions, changing color and pattern based on the feelings of whoever held them. Star maps showing the locations of other peaceful species throughout the galaxy. On the third day, Admiral Kevin Wright contacted the Defender from Luna Station with news that made everyone aboard excited and nervous. "Captain Morrison, the Earth Council has voted unanimously to accept the Serenity's invitation to join their confederation of peaceful worlds. We're preparing for a formal signing ceremony that will be broadcast to both Earth and the Serenity homeworld." Keth-9's skin patterns shifted to bright gold when Captain Morrison shared the news. "This brings great joy to my heart-mind. Humanity will be welcomed with celebration throughout our confederation. Your species will bring new perspectives and strengths to our galactic community." General Paul Baker, the military advisor who had been monitoring the situation from Luna Station, remained cautiously optimistic. While the Serenity appeared completely peaceful, he insisted on maintaining defensive readiness. "We're dealing with technology far beyond our understanding," he reminded Admiral Wright. "Peaceful intentions are wonderful, but we need to be prepared for anything." As the ceremony preparations began, both species worked together to create a celebration worthy of the historic moment. The Serenity taught humans to create harmonic light displays, while humans shared their traditions of music and symbolic gift exchange. Dr. Carter stood in the observation lounge with Keith-9, watching Earth turn slowly in the viewport. The alien being's presence had become comforting over the past 3 days, and she had begun to think of Keth-9 as a friend rather than just a diplomatic contact. "Your world is beautiful," Keth-9 said, its voice filled with genuine admiration. "We look forward to learning from your species for many years to come." Neither Dr. Carter nor Keth-9 noticed the faint energy readings that had begun appearing on the edge of the solar system, signals so subtle that the automated monitoring systems dismissed them as background radiation from distant stars. The ceremony hall aboard the UES Defender had been transformed into something magical. Human engineers and Serenity technicians worked together to create displays that combined Earth's artistic traditions with alien harmonic light technology. Holographic projections showed scenes from both worlds, while gentle music played in frequencies that somehow made everyone feel peaceful and hopeful. Captain Jake Morrison adjusted his dress uniform and looked around the hall where humanity would officially join the galactic community. Representatives from every major nation on Earth appeared as holograms, their images transmitted from Luna Station. The ceremony would be broadcast simultaneously to Earth and to the Serenity homeworld, making it the most watched event in human history. Keth 9 floated gracefully near the ceremonial table, its skin patterns showing deep blue and gold swirls that Dr. Lisa Carter had learned indicated profound happiness. The alien ambassador wore decorative crystalline ornaments that chimed softly with each movement, creating music that seemed to celebrate the moment. Dr. Nicole Thompson checked her recording equipment one final time. As the official documentarian for First Contact, she was responsible for capturing every detail of this historic day. Her cameras would record not just the ceremony itself, but the reactions of both species as they formally became allies. Tony Martinez stood at his communication station, monitoring dozens of channels as messages of congratulation poured in from around the solar system. The young officer had become something of a celebrity after his friendship with the Serenity crew members became public knowledge. Children on Earth were already learning the basic harmonic greetings he had helped translate. General Paul Baker watched the proceedings from Luna Station, his experienced eyes scanning every security monitor and sensor reading. While he supported the alliance with the Serenity, years of military training made him cautious about anything that seemed too good to be true. His defensive fleets remained on alert throughout the outer solar system. The formal ceremony began with traditional greetings from both species. Captain Morrison spoke on behalf of humanity, expressing gratitude for the peaceful contact and hope for future cooperation. His words were translated into the Serenity harmonic language and broadcast to their homeworld, where millions of beings watched with interest. Keth 9 responded with a complex, harmonic sequence that human translators rendered as a poem about the beauty of meeting new minds and sharing the wonders of existence. The aliens' bioluminescent patterns created a light show that complemented the musical tones, making the speech as much art as communication. Admiral Kevin Wright appeared via hologram from Luna Station, carrying the official documents that would establish Earth as a member of the Serenity Confederation. The papers represented months of negotiation and careful, legal work to ensure that humanity maintained its independence, while gaining access to galactic knowledge and protection. Dr. Ben Clark stood, ready with the translation devices that would allow both species to understand every word of the formal agreement. The linguistic breakthrough he had achieved with Keth 9's help would make this ceremony possible, creating the first truly bilingual legal document in human history. The gifts exchange began the formal portion of the ceremony. The Serenity presented humanity with a collection of seeds from dozens of worlds, carefully chosen plants that could grow in Earth's environment and provide new sources of food, medicine, and materials. They also offered star charts showing safe travel routes to other peaceful civilizations. Captain Helen Davis presented the Serenity with humanity's greatest treasures: collections of music from every human culture, digital libraries containing Earth's literature and scientific knowledge, and artistic works that showed the full range of human creativity and emotion. The alien skin patterns brightened with wonder as they received each gift. The moment everyone had been waiting for arrived as Captain Morrison and Keth 9 approached the ceremonial table. The treaty documents lay ready for signing, their pages containing the carefully negotiated terms that would bind two species in friendship and mutual support. Dr. Carter stood nearby, her scientific instruments recording the quantum signatures of the Serenity technology that made interstellar communication possible. The knowledge being shared today would advance human science by centuries, opening up possibilities that previous generations had only dreamed about. As Captain Morrison reached for the ceremonial pen, alarms began sounding throughout the ship. Commander Amy Rodriguez rushed to her tactical station as warning lights flashed across every control panel. The celebration mood shattered as crew members scrambled to their emergency positions. "Captain," Rodriguez called out, her voice tight with concern. "Long-range sensors are detecting massive energy signatures approaching from the outer system, multiple contacts moving at incredible speed." General Baker's voice crackled through the communication system from Luna Station, urgent and commanding. "All ships, this is command. We have unknown vessels decloaking throughout the solar system. Count is now 12, repeat. 12 large vessels of unknown origin." Keth 9's skin patterns shifted dramatically from gold and blue to deep red and black, colors that the humans had never seen before. The alien made distressed harmonic sounds as it communicated rapidly with the other Serenity beings in the hall. Dr. Carter watched in shock as the peaceful ambassador transformed before her eyes. "Keth 9, what's happening? Are these friends of yours?" The alien's response sent chills through everyone in the ceremony hall. "No, Dr. Carter, these are the Dominion. They are Deathbringers who enslave or destroy every peaceful civilization they encounter. We had hoped our journey to your world had gone undetected." Tony Martinez frantically worked his communication console as reports flooded in from throughout the solar system. "Captain, the new ships are massive, easily 10 times larger than our biggest vessels. They're broadcasting some kind of demand message." The main display screen switched to show the approaching fleet. The ships were dark, angular, and covered with weapon emplacements that made their purpose unmistakably clear. They moved in perfect formation, their black hulls seeming to absorb light rather than reflect it. Admiral Wright's voice came through with barely controlled tension. "Defender, we're receiving a transmission from the lead vessel. They're demanding immediate surrender of all Serenity refugees and claiming Earth as a Dominion protectorate." Captain Morrison looked at the treaty documents still lying unsigned on the ceremonial table, then at Keth 9, whose skin patterns now showed what could only be described as terror. The peaceful first contact that was supposed to herald a new age for humanity had instead led their greatest enemy directly to Earth's doorstep. The celebration that should have marked humanity's entry into galactic civilization had become something else entirely. In the space of minutes, Earth had gone from welcoming their first alien friends to facing an invasion by beings whose very presence made those friends tremble with fear. The treaty signing would have to wait. First, they had to survive what was coming. The massive Dominion warship decloaked near Jupiter like a predator revealing itself to cornered prey. Captain Jake Morrison watched the tactical display as more ships materialized throughout the solar system, their dark hulls bristling with weapons that could reduce planets to space dust. The lead vessel was larger than anything humanity had ever built, its angular design speaking of a species that valued destruction above all else. Keth 9 trembled beside Dr. Lisa Carter, the alien's bioluminescent patterns flickering between red fear and desperate urgency. "Captain Morrison, you must understand. The Dominion does not negotiate. They conquer or they destroy. There is no middle path with them." Commander Amy Rodriguez frantically coordinated with Earth's defense fleets as more enemy contacts appeared on her screens. "Sir, we count 15 Dominion vessels now. Our entire defense force combined wouldn't match the firepower of just one of their ships." The communication system crackled to life with a voice that seemed to drain warmth from the air. The translation computers struggled to process the alien language before producing words that carried an unmistakable tone of absolute authority and contempt. "Primitive Earth creatures, I am War Prime Zethak of the Dominion Third Fleet. You will immediately surrender all Serenity refugees to our custody and prepare your world for incorporation into the Dominion Empire. You have one of your time periods called hours to comply." Admiral Kevin Wright's voice came through from Luna Station, strained but determined. "Defender, Earth Command has voted. We will not surrender our guests to an aggressive force. All defense fleets are moving to intercept positions." Dr. Ben Clark worked desperately with his translation equipment as more Dominion messages flooded the communication channels. "Captain, they're broadcasting what appears to be a list of demands. Complete surrender, immediate cessation of all space travel, and something about tribute requirements." Keth 9 made anguished, harmonic sounds as it communicated with the other Serenity beings aboard their bioship. Dr. Carter watched in amazement as the peaceful aliens' entire demeanor changed, revealing a core of surprising determination beneath their gentle nature. "Dr. Carter," Keth 9 said, its voice now carrying new strength, "my people have made a decision. We will not allow the Dominion to use us as an excuse to enslave your species. We will ram our ship into their lead vessel to give you time to prepare your defenses." Captain Morrison stepped forward, his military training taking over as he processed the tactical situation. "Keth 9, we appreciate your sacrifice, but there has to be another way. How do we fight them? What are their weaknesses?" The alien skin patterns shifted to show complex geometric designs that Dr. Carter recognized as deep thought patterns. "The Dominion has conquered hundreds of species, Captain Morrison. They expect either immediate surrender or predictable resistance. They have never encountered a species like yours. Tony Martinez looked up from his communication station with confusion and growing hope. Sir, I'm intercepting Dominion tactical communications. Their computers are analyzing human military doctrine and they seem to be having trouble creating response patterns. General Paul Baker's voice came through the speakers with grim determination. All ships, this is Defense Command. We're implementing Protocol Omega. Every vessel with weapon capability is hereby deputized into the Earth Defense Force. Dr. Nicole Thompson continued recording as history unfolded around her, but now she was documenting humanity's first interstellar war instead of a peaceful celebration. Captain, for the record, what are our orders? Captain Morrison looked around the bridge at his crew, then at Keth 9 and the other Serenity representatives. In the space of an hour, these beings had gone from honored guests to refugees seeking protection. The decision he made now would determine whether humanity faced this threat alone or with allies. Rodriguez, signal all Earth forces. We stand with the Serenity Confederation. Any attack on their vessels will be considered an attack on Earth itself. The Dominion response was immediate and terrifying. Warprime Zethic's ship fired a single energy beam that vaporized a small asteroid near Mars, demonstrating power that could level entire cities. The message was clear: submit or face annihilation. Admiral Wright coordinated the desperate defense as Earth's scattered fleets moved into position. All vessels were facing technology centuries ahead of our own. Our only advantage is that they expect us to fight like every other species they've conquered. Dr. Carter worked with Keth 9 to understand Dominion tactics as precious minutes ticked away. They attack peaceful species by overwhelming them with superior firepower, the alien explained. They expect either immediate surrender or conventional defensive responses that their computers can counter. Captain Helen Davis, aboard the UES Discovery, reported her ship's status as the Defense Fleet assembled. Command. We're retrofitting our vessels with Serenity harmonic shield technology. It won't stop their weapons, but it might confuse their targeting systems. The first Dominion ships crossed the orbit of Mars, their dark hulls seeming to swallow light as they advanced toward Earth. Warprime Zethak broadcast another message, his voice filled with the confidence of someone who had never experienced defeat. Earth creatures, your resistance is futile and annoying. We will demonstrate the price of defying the Dominion. Commander Rodriguez watched her tactical display as the enemy fleet formed attack formations that their computers had probably used to conquer dozens of other worlds. Captain, they're not adapting their approach at all. It's like they're following a script. Keth 9's skin patterns suddenly brightened as understanding dawned. Captain Morrison, this may be your advantage. The Dominion conquers through fear and overwhelming force, but they have grown arrogant. They do not expect creative resistance. Tony Martinez intercepted more enemy communications, his translation software revealing discussions among Dominion commanders. Sir, they're debating whether to offer us one more chance to surrender. They seem surprised that we're actually preparing to fight. General Baker's voice crackled through the speakers as Earth's defense reached its final preparations. All ships, remember that we're not just fighting for Earth. We're fighting for every peaceful species in the galaxy that the Dominion has enslaved or destroyed. Captain Morrison looked at the unsigned treaty, documents still lying on the ceremonial table, then at Keth 9, whose patterns now showed determination mixed with hope. If we're going to be part of a galactic community, we need to prove we're worth being allies with. The Dominion fleet reached the outer defensive perimeter as Earth's forces prepared for humanity's first battle among the stars. Neither side knew that this encounter would change the balance of power throughout the galaxy. The battle began with Warprime Zethak's flagship firing a devastating energy beam that should have destroyed the lead Earth vessel. Instead, the UES Discovery disappeared from Dominion sensors completely, its hull wrapped in Serenity harmonic, technology that bent light and energy around it like water flowing around a stone. Captain Jake Morrison watched from the Defender's bridge as human ingenuity met alien arrogance in the vacuum of space. Earth's forces had spent the precious hour retrofitting their ships with Serenity defensive systems and preparing tactics that no Dominion computer had ever analyzed. Commander Amy Rodriguez coordinated the attack as Earth's fleet executed maneuvers that violated every principle of conventional space warfare. All ships, initiate ramming approach. Remember, we're not trying to win a clean fight. We're trying to survive and make them think twice about coming back. Keth 9 stood beside Dr. Lisa Carter, its bioluminescent patterns showing amazement and growing hope as human ships did things that peaceful species would never consider. The Serenity had never seen anyone actually fight the Dominion with success, and the sight of Earth vessels deliberately colliding with enemy ships left the aliens speechless. Captain Helen Davis piloted the Discovery directly into the side of a Dominion cruiser, her ship's harmonic shields protecting her crew as the enemy vessel's hull cracked and atmosphere vented into space. Command, the Dominion ships are built for overwhelming firepower, not for close combat. They can't handle ramming attacks. Warprime Zethak's voice crackled over the communication channels, no longer carrying its earlier confidence. The Dominion commander had expected either immediate surrender or predictable defensive tactics that his computers could counter. Instead, he faced beings who treated their own ships as weapons and seemed to enjoy dangerous combat. Tony Martinez intercepted Dominion tactical communications as their formation began to falter. "Captain, their commanders are arguing about human combat doctrine. Their computers can't predict what we'll do next because we're not following any logical military strategy." Admiral Kevin Wright coordinated the defense from Luna Station as more Earth vessels joined the battle. Mining ships equipped with plasma, cutters, cargo haulers loaded with explosives, and even civilian vessels volunteering to help defend their world. The Dominion had never faced an entire species willing to fight with whatever they had available. Dr. Ben Clark worked frantically to translate intercepted enemy messages as the battle raged around them. "Sir, the Dominion officers are reporting that human tactics are impossible to counter because they don't make sense from a military standpoint." General Paul Baker smiled grimly as he watched the tactical display from Luna Station. His years of military experience had taught him that sometimes the best strategy was to have no strategy at all, especially when facing an enemy who relied on overwhelming technological superiority. The turning point came when a damaged Earth freighter, its engines failing and hull breached, deliberately rammed into Warprime Zethak's flagship. The collision shouldn't have damaged the massive Dominion vessel, but the freighter's cargo bay was filled with mining explosives that detonated against the enemy ship's shield generators. Keth 9's skin patterns blazed with colors Dr. Carter had never seen before as the alien watched humanity fight with a combination of tactical brilliance and complete disregard for conventional warfare. "Dr. Carter, your species fights like no other we have encountered. You use desperation as a weapon." Commander Rodriguez reported from her tactical station as more Dominion ships began withdrawing from the battle. "Captain, we're reading damage on 8 enemy vessels. They're pulling back to regroup, but their formation is completely disrupted." The Serenity bioship joined the battle in ways that amazed both species. Instead of ramming attacks, Keith 9's people used their harmonic technology to interfere with Dominion communications and navigation systems. The peaceful aliens had found ways to fight without directly causing harm, confusing enemy computers with conflicting sensor data. Warprime Zethak's flagship limped away from Earth's defensive perimeter, its hull scarred by ramming attacks and its shield systems overloaded by explosive collisions. The Dominion commander broadcast a final message that carried none of his earlier arrogance. "This encounter will be reported to High Command. Your species fights without honor or logic. The Dominion will return with greater force." Captain Morrison watched the enemy fleet retreat beyond the orbit of Mars, their dark ships no longer seeming invincible. "Rodriguez, what are our casualties?" The answer was sobering but not devastating. Earth had lost 12 vessels and nearly 300 brave souls, but they had successfully driven off a force that should have conquered them in minutes. More importantly, they had proven that the Dominion could be resisted. Admiral Wright's voice came through the speakers with exhausted relief. "All ships, this is command. The enemy fleet is retreating beyond sensor range. Earth remains free." Dr. Nicole Thompson continued recording as the implications of the battle became clear. Humanity had not only survived first contact with a hostile alien empire, they had actually won their first interstellar war through sheer stubbornness and creative thinking. Keth 9 approached the ceremonial table where the treaty document still waited, its patterns now showing deep respect mixed with admiration. "Captain Morrison, my people would be honored to sign this alliance. Your species has shown that peaceful civilizations can defend themselves when they work together." 6 months later, Captain Morrison stood on the observation deck of the new joint human Serenity space station orbiting Earth. Through the transparent aluminum windows, he could see ships from a dozen different species arriving to join what was being called the Free Worlds Alliance. Dr. Carter worked alongside Keth-9 in the station's research laboratories, where human, military innovation combined with Serenity peaceful technology to create defensive systems that other oppressed species could use against Dominion aggression. Tony Martinez had become Earth's first interstellar communications officer, coordinating messages between species that had been hiding from the Dominion for centuries. His translation work had made possible the first truly multi-species military alliance in galactic history. The Dominion had returned twice since the first battle, each time with larger fleets and more advanced tactics. Each time they found Earth's defenses stronger and more unpredictable than before. Word spread throughout the galaxy that the Deathbringers could be defeated. General Baker reviewed reports from across the galaxy as former Dominion slave species declared their independence and requested alliance with Earth. Captain, intelligence suggests that Dominion expansion has stopped completely. They're too busy dealing with rebellions to conquer new worlds. Keth-9 stood beside Captain Morrison as they watched another group of refugee ships arrive seeking protection and alliance. The gentle alien's patterns showed deep satisfaction as it spoke in its musical voice. Captain Morrison, your species has given the galaxy something it had lost: hope. The Dominion rules through fear, but you have shown that even the smallest species can stand against tyranny when they refuse to surrender. Captain Morrison smiled as he watched human and alien children playing together in the station's gardens, growing up in a universe where peace was defended by those brave enough to fight for it.